It's time for a little challenge. What car would you go for? The XC60 or the upcoming, let's pretend this is a EX60? Because in a couple of months' time, you can head into your local Volvo dealership and put your name on an EX60. It's going to be launched in January 2026. And I think they're going to open the order books already at the launch day. So in like 6 months' time, then these two cars are available at the same time to purchase. But what car should you go for? Should you go for the XC60 or should you go for the EX60? And maybe also in conjunction to that, should you go plug-in hybrid or should you go battery electric? What car would you go for? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. I will share my opinions on both car versus car, even if we can't compare them totally because we don't have the EX60 in front of us. But we're going to talk about car versus car, and we're going to talk about powertrain versus powertrain. And I hope you will drop your comments down below with your opinions and your thoughts on this matter, both car versus car and also powertrain versus powertrain. What would be your choice and why? Here in Norway, we're probably forced to go for the electric due to our taxation system. But I'm not going to lie, I have a strong love for the XC60. And I'm also very intrigued over the upcoming EX60. It's not so easy to compare these two, at least not yet, because there's so many things we don't know regarding the EX60. But what we can do, we can look at the XC90 versus the EX90. We can look at that and try to extrapolate some information from those two cars to try to anticipate what we're getting with the EX60. But let's look at the XC90 first. What I love with the XC90 are the exterior design. It has that oomph, it has that power and strength and character, strong character. And that I really love. And then maybe most importantly, the interior qualities. Everything you touch and feel, like the sun visors, they are wrapped in fabric. Unless you have the upgraded luxury pack, then you get Nordico or leather on the sun visors. Same as we have 4 individual switches in the doors for your windows and individual switches for your mirrors. And then center console wrapped in beautiful leather. We have a curtain. One more time. We have a curtain in the XC90 to close the panoramic roof. It's just small things, and I think like the key tag. This is the key tag for the XC60, but it's similar on the XC90. 4 physical switches. Lock, unlock, then the glove compartment, and then the alarm button on the side. The EX90 key is just a joke in comparison. You have to put it on the charging plate all the time just to keep it active. So the interior qualities is just one step above, or like 2 steps above. The XC90 has so much to offer. If you look at the EX90, it doesn't have that interior luxury. It's plastic on the sun visor, the key tag feels cheap. There's no curtain in the panoramic roof. Like the rear doors, there's no integrated sun curtain that you get on the XC90, but not EX90. It's all of these small elements that I really can't understand what was the purpose of the EX90. Yes, size-wise it's comparable, but interior, not even close. Not even close. And when I look at the EX90, I get concerned or worried for the EX60. But then again, in the 60 I don't expect so much more. I don't expect nubuck or fabric. It's already plastic here, so what can they do? Yes, they can probably remove all the window controls and mirror controls, and they can probably mess up the stocks. But yeah, I'm slightly worried for that. But yeah, let's jump one class down and look at the XC60. What I love with the XC60 are the analog approach. 4 individual switches for your windows. And we can also start with the grab handle on the outside. A proper grab handle. Proper window switches, proper mirror controls, physical. And once again, I can bring up this key. A proper key tag. This is the first thing you touch. Or usually, okay, it's keyless, so you have it in your pocket. But this is the first contact point with the car. And I remember when I took delivery of my XC90 back in 2017, and I got presented a beautiful box, the same box as you get when you purchase a fancy watch. A beautiful box you open up, and then you had 2 key tags wrapped in leather. Now it's plastic, but it's even worse on the EX90 and ES90. It's just a disgrace. I think we had a police in the side road here, just to see if anyone was speeding. But I'm good. But yeah, analog approach, individual stalks. One stalk for your One stalk for your window wipers, rain sensitivity, everything on the right stalk. Left stalk, lights, indicators, individual stalks. Look at the EX90. They have put all of your wiper action over to the left stalk, your indicator stalk. And I think that is a compromise. It's like with a washing machine and a dryer. 2 individual machines, but there's also a machine that can do both. You can do both the washing and the drying. And I think there's also always a compromise when one machine is supposed to do 2 separate tasks. And it's the same thing here. It would be much better to have, because now I have rain sensitivity and I can adjust this wheel here to adjust it. Instead of the EX90, I have to go into this freaking touch screen. So I like this more analog approach. I have physical buttons for the maximum defroster front and rear, track back and forward, hazard button, individual stalks, buttons in the door panel. I have a curtain in the roof. These are the things I love with the XC60. It's a proper car. And the EX60, there's so many uncertainties with that car. It's not going to be this analog. Just a thing as the driver display. One of the things I have always appreciated with Volvos are the deep, buried into the dashboard, this driver display. A huge driver display. Good clarity, good black levels. I have to just increase the distance to the car in front of me. I love this driver display. And look at the EX90 and ES90. Just a little LCD panel, LED panel on top of the steering wheel column. Minimalistic, yes, but it doesn't look as good, and it doesn't feel as good either. It just gets too minimalistic. And I'm worried for the EX60 on these elements. The driver display, the key tag, the window controls, the mirror controls, also the panoramic roof. Will it get a curtain? Even the EX90 doesn't have a curtain. So there's so many uncertainties with the EX60. I think it's going to be a more digital experience, more modern, minimalistic Scandinavian, or cost savings. I'm super worried for the EX60 in terms of interior qualities, on the minimalistic approach and the tactical experience, the way you interact with the car. And maybe if you look at the ES90, we're going back and forward here a couple of times, but I'm sorry about that. But the ES90 has this electrochromatic roof, because on the EX90 there's nothing. You have to buy a manual shade. A manual shade you have to pop up. Oh, it's such a disgrace. But either way, ES90, electrochromatic roof. I expect that we will get that also on the EX60. But is that actually a good substitute for a curtain? No. I don't think these electrochromatic roofs are that good. Yes, they are fancy, but a curtain will stop. During winter, this glass roof gets really cold, and it will exude this heat downwards towards your head and body. And a curtain will stop that to prevent that cold from hitting you. And also during direct sunlight, yes, they can say probably this electrochromatic roof does a good job, but it can't replace a freaking curtain. I wish a curtain was just optional in both the EX90, ES90 and also EX60. But if we try to summarize, the XC60 more analog, more mechanical, more old-fashioned. The EX60, I'm afraid, is going to be minimalistic. This cute little driver display, maybe no curtain, maybe no window switches, maybe you have to use voice command to open up the window. Yeah, I'm worried, in all honesty. I'm worried for the EX60. But I hope Volvo will pull through and make it like a middle road, not too analog and not too digital. Let's keep some physical switches, please. But I think that was enough on the car versus car, because it won't be an equal comparison either way, because there's so many things we don't know with the EX60. But let's talk powertrain. That is actually quite interesting to talk about. I hope the quality of the picture here and color grading are good. I have the sun straight in my face. It just poked out from a cloud. But this is something I really find interesting, because yes, I'm in a unique situation. What the heck is happening here? Oh, it's one of these Swedish EPA tractors. It's going like 34 km per hour, 35. Yeah, slow and steady, slow and steady. But I'm in a special situation since I live in Norway, because we have so huge tax benefits with going electric. If we once again go back to the 90 range, EX90, XC90, the XC90 are 300,000 more expensive than the EX90. 300,000. So who is going to buy the XC90 when they can save 300,000? So that's also why I purchased the EC40. It's significantly cheaper, the purchasing price. So obviously we're going to go electric. But if I could pick myself, if they would compete on the same level, I would go plug-in hybrid. But let's now look at some advantages and disadvantages with both powertrains. And usually when someone asks me for advice on what way to go, I have a couple of questions that have helped me. And they are like, how far do you drive daily? How far do you drive monthly? Annually? Can you charge at home? Can you charge at work? Do you frequently go on longer road trips, like once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month? And do you sometimes tow a caravan? These are the questions that will determine what way I should lean, plug-in hybrid or electric. And then there's also the last question. Do you have any tax incentives or tax benefits that pushes you one way or the other? It's actually a Volvo 8, no, what the heck is that thing? Like a 240, 840, 850 thing. It was a Volvo thing, hard to see. It was a green one. But do you have any tax benefits that pushes you one way or the other? Because if you have similar tax benefits as we have, then you can overcome some of the disadvantages with like electric or plug-in hybrid, because you save so much. Okay, prepare to smile for the speed warning, or speed box, speed measurement. What is it, 90 here? Yeah, it's all good. Say cheese. But tax benefits. But let's now kick off the pro and con with each powertrain, in my opinion. And for me, the biggest attraction with the plug-in hybrid are that you have 2 cars in one. Like this XC60. Like, I think it was last Thursday, I did an electric range test. The WLTP 81, another EPA tractor. Holy crap. I did, WLTP 81. I managed to drive 90 km all electric with this XC60. So I can definitely use the XC60 as an electric car on my everyday work commute. All electric. That will be good for air quality in the city, in the Oslo. So it will be a win-win. And I think it's significantly better than driving an old petrol or old diesel car. So, plug-in hybrid, electric in the city. And then now, when I'm going on a long road trip, I can just drive as far as I want, as fast as I want, and stop wherever I want. Quick refuel time, and I have the confidence of this strong petrol engine that could take me wherever I want. I had like 3 to 5 minutes refueling time. And yes, you can argue that on a long road trip you would stop either way, but I wouldn't necessarily stop at the charging station. Like previously, I stopped at a Burger King. I bought the food in the drive-thru. I kept on driving to like scenic stop place, like a resting place for more scenic experience, and I stopped there to eat. And there was no charging station there. So it's a little matter of where you stop. Yes, maybe I stopped the same time, but not the same place. So I think it's much more convenient with the petrol or like a plug-in hybrid. But then that was the good things. And then we come to the bad things, because it isn't perfect. And for me, the negative parts with the plug-in hybrid are it's like two-sided. If you don't exceed the range of the electricity, if you're only operating between these 0 to 80 kilometers, you never engage the petrol engine, you hardly go on longer road trips, you live on the electric power alone. Then why do you have a plug-in hybrid? Then you don't need the petrol engine. Or if you exceed the electric range, or if you can't charge at home, so you're either way going to kick on the petrol engine every single time. And maybe you don't drive so much that you need that additional range of the petrol engine, then maybe you can go for electric car instead. Because if you have a plug-in hybrid that you can't utilize as intended, yeah, another speed camera, then you still have to go servicing and maintenance, because the petrol engine and powertrain needs servicing annually, and servicing and maintenance. So smile for the 90. So service and maintenance cost on the plug-in hybrids if you don't need it. That's the negative part. But then let's look at the battery electric cars. I'm on my third electric car, I think. I had 2 XC40s and 1 EC40, so the third electric car. I love both powertrains, so it's not like I'm anti-EV or anti-internal combustion. I love them both. Both have their each individual qualities and use case. So this is just, again, my personal opinions, but there's no hate towards any side here. I love them both, and I don't think we should hate on one of the other side. Sometimes this debate on electric versus plug-in hybrid are really like polarizing opposites. Like, oh, I hate EVs, or I hate plug-in hybrids. But I'm like, I don't care. I'm like in there somewhere, in the middle. But let's look at the good things. The good thing are the financial aspects. For me, cheaper to purchase. The purchasing price because of high tax benefits. Or maybe the other part also is the financial stick that the Norwegian government are going to beat you with. Or maybe they have a horsewhip they're going to strangle you with, or just spank you time after time. And not in a good way. It's a financial spank over your face if you want to buy something else than electric. So we are forced to buy electric. But the financial aspect when purchasing it are significant. And then you come to running cost. Because I can charge my EC40 at home, and if I want, I can also charge at both of my workplaces. So for me, the running costs are really, really low. And yes, I have to charge every time I'm driving to Gothenburg. I have to stop maybe once or twice, depending on the weather conditions. But I accept it because, once again, the incentives was so tempting that I accept the disadvantages those times I'm on a longer road trip. And then that takes us elegantly over to the disadvantages, because that is still for me range and charging, especially during winter time. Because say my EC40 can do 400 kilometers, just say that. Then during winter I just take 50%, just gone, forget about it. You have 200 kilometers of efficient range, and that works for me. I just have to charge it then every other day or every day, and I can live with that. But the problem comes on longer road trips during winter time, because you're operating between 10 and 80%. You don't charge it to 100% at these rapid chargers. So the efficient range of these 200, you can just take 30% of that and just say, okay, forget about that as well, because you are between 10 and 80. So range and charging are the biggest drawbacks for me with our electric car. But once again, I choose to accept it because of the tax benefits. So that is the good things. The good things with the electric car, financial part. The bad things, range and charging. With the plug-in hybrids, it was 2 cars in one, and the bad thing was the servicing and maintenance. Yes, you can probably also include running costs, for petrol aren't cheap. But that reminds me, I have to buy petrol here, because petrol in Norway are freaking crazy. I'm almost at the Swedish border, heading home with this XC60 to deliver it to Volvo Car Norway. But I hope there's a petrol station in here somewhere. We're going into this Handelspark. Yeah, I saw a gas station marker. I am on, yeah, slightly half a tank. So I want to refuel before I enter Norway with these crazy prices. Here it's like 15 kroner per liter. In Norway it's probably 22 or something. Once again, Norway just want to rip you apart financially. It's not enough with all the tax I'm paying from my work. I pay like 200,000 in income tax. But then they have to rip me off at every single occasion. But where is the petrol station? But yeah, it's time to wrap up this video. But that is my good things with the plug-in hybrid, good things with electric, and also the little concern regarding the EX60. But I have hope that Volvo won't take it too far in a minimalistic way, because I would love to put my name on the contract for a EX60. But if I could, I would take this one. Holy crap, I love the XC60. But I think that was it. I have to find this where the petrol station are. Maybe it's on the other side. I haven't been here in ages. But that's it for this time. I hope I see you in the next one. And drop a comment down below what car you would go for. Would you go XC60, or would you have the guts to wait for the EX60 and risk some of this analog approach? And what powertrain do you prefer? If I could make one wish at the end, I would actually say that I would love a XC60 but with electric powertrain. But I want this analog approach. I love this old-fashioned. I'm an old man probably, but yeah. But that's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably way too long, but I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye bye.